Hey everyone, today we're going to do a quick breakdown of SaaS content internal linking and best practices. Siege Media works with a ton of really well-known SaaS companies, including Asana, Figma, Zendesk, Zapier, and more. Today we're going to break down the best practices they employ and that we work with them to implement that has driven a lot of their success to date. So the first one is essentially looking at content at the bottom of the homepage. So if we do that, specifically with Drata, we will see that the content experience is normal until the bottom, where essentially you're getting to know the product. Perhaps you're ready to buy. There are calls to action throughout, but what you get to at that section is a content. It could be SEO content, could be curated, could be the most recent content, but it's a natural place to put content that will lead users down the funnel, especially in longer sales cycles. Realistically, if they get to the bottom of your homepage, they are not ready to buy, but it's a helpful place to drive internal linking value as well, without detracting from conversion in any way, especially in longer sales cycle type businesses. The second relates to that is the sales pages within the site. So in SaaS instances, especially when you again have a longer sales cycle, it's a very natural place to put relevant content to that product at the bottom of your page. The bottom making sense because users could have converted before they got there, but when they're getting to the bottom, probably more likely they're not ready to convert. Therefore, they would like to keep reading, or are more likely to do that just because it's a longer sales cycle and it's going to be a longer conversation in order to buy. So putting very tightly connected product links will drive a lot of that conversion. Here we see SOC 2 on a SOC 2 page. Everything semantically connected, and you can see how this is going to drive SEO value, user value, conversion value, all connected. And that's what really powerful internal linking does. Next thing would be to have the blog inherent to menu navigation. This is critical because it will drive user experience towards buying and also take your content section from a magazine to a real conversion experience, which is really the reason we do it. Many blogs will just have blog navigation links up here, but what we really want is links to our core product pages and solutions and case studies, etc., because that will be a natural place for users to dig into, especially via sticky nav, which is also something we recommend and have seen conversion lift from in tests, because that is going to be easier for them to do than have to jump to the blog, jump to the homepage, then jump into a feature set. That's probably, that is increasing friction to convert and is going to just not drive the outcomes you want within that context. So making the nav be the same, it just also brings continuity. And the final benefit is a lot of these content type pages will drive a lot of links. They're top funnel. They're not very heavy handed. And then the direct internal linking flow from external links will drive more ranking value to these pages, increasing the probability that they can rank. So that's a major reason to do that as well. On the hub itself, what we recommend is 15 plus links, ideally manually curated, such that you can pick high converting, high difficulty, high value pages, ideally all three in one on this hub, and also get them one click from the homepage. This is going to be more likely to drive SEO value because of that proximity to your highest value page, which is 99.9% of the time your homepage. What people will often do is only include, like, say, 6 links of some kind, and that is probably going to be more likely to push content down the click path, taking it a few steps from the homepage, driving less performance over time. So Help Scout is right on the edge there with their experience, but you can see most of their pages are quite close in terms of that, in terms of driving many of those experiences over time. We can also look at HubSpot, which we're about to look at with another example, and see what they do on their hub. You can see this definitely employed even at a higher volume, where many SEO articles, in addition to other ones, which is ideal and why you increase this volume, will make it more probable that these drive performance for you over time. The next important piece of internal linking puzzle is 3+ links post content on the blog, and also not in the right rail. We see that sometimes, but actually post experience. This is good for mobile and on desktop. And why we say that is because you're done reading an article on sales strategy in this example. What you would want to see is 3 curated, highly relevant, also sales topics for this blog. What you'll see very commonly as a default mechanism is the 3 most recent posts, and also just in random categories. That's not great for users. That's not great for topical authority. That's not great for driving time on site. So by curating this list and making it hyper relevant to the article you're on, you're going to drive more deep clicks into your site, more internal linking flow from a relevancy standpoint. Say this article gets external links, it's going to more naturally pass more relevant value to other sales articles rather than tangential, maybe marketing articles on the HubSpot site. So this is much more valuable to do it in this way. We also like what they do in terms of visual content, hover states that will drive a little intrigue rather than just dry links, which you'll sometimes see in the section that don't engage on hover. This isn't any kind of mind-blowing experience, but still kind of somewhat elevates the internal linking to drive more relevancy over time. And then finally is making sure your content experience is linked in both the top and bottom nav. And also in a perfect world has more than one link. So the minimum viable situation, in our opinion, is to have the content hub linked in the top nav and the bottom nav. Very commonly, probably 70% of the time, it's only in the bottom nav. But if you're really trying to show this is important, both to users and to Google, it should be linked in your top nav in some way. So if you can't get that across the line, that's probably saying something about the quality of that experience and what it means to the content strategy of that business. And you need to be able to flip that switch, increase the quality, not make it embarrassing in order to really get that in that top nav from an organizational standpoint. But what Cloudflare does, who's amongst the 1% in terms of performance as a business, is it's part of the strategy for them. And you can see they're linking to 12 plus other content areas within the Learn Hub. And that's going to drive more proximity to the homepage, which is less click depth, as we just talked about, which is more likely to help those pages get valued via Cloudflare's most authoritative page. But it's also getting users into the experience faster, getting them to the things they care about specifically. That's going to drive more conversions and visibility for these sections and external links, not just occurring via Google finds, but rather through direct visits and in the architecture as well. So that's what good SEO is really, is you take a business that has already seen traffic, you increase the visibility of SEO content via proximity and architecture on the site. And by nature, that will also drive external visits via Google as well. If you bury these experiences and expect them to perform, that's going to be very hard to do unless you're one of the most authoritative sites on the web. So yeah, that's really the core. I would say at a minimum, make sure you get at least the hub as a single link up there. But in a perfect world, you're getting maybe categories linked. This is an extreme version, but even 3 core categories is helpful. Maybe performative SEO content that drives conversions can make sense to put up there as well. Ideally, just some number higher than 1 is the ideal scenario in most SaaS verticals, especially in longer sales cycles where content is so critical to get them to that final conversion. If you like this kind of unique take on our YouTube series, please let us know via a thumbs up or subscribe. That'll definitely be appreciated, and comments below. If you'd like to see any other takes like this as well, we definitely value that feedback. But I appreciate you watching.